The notion that global warming is a war by the mainstream media against Christianity is a complex and multifaceted concept. On the surface, it may seem like a far-fetched idea, but upon closer examination, it reveals a web of interconnected themes and ideologies. To understand this concept, it's essential to delve into the world of media representation, theological perspectives, and the cultural narrative surrounding environmentalism. The mainstream media has been accused of promoting a secular, liberal agenda that often clashes with traditional Christian values. By emphasizing the urgency of climate change and the need for drastic action, some argue that the media is subtly undermining Christian teachings and promoting a new, eco-friendly morality. This perspective suggests that the media's focus on environmentalism is not just about saving the planet, but also about reshaping societal values and promoting a more secular worldview. One of the primary concerns for Christians is the perceived shift in moral authority. As the media continues to sound the alarm on climate change, it's possible that some individuals may begin to prioritize environmental concerns over traditional Christian values. This could lead to a re-evaluation of what it means to be a responsible steward of the earth, with some arguing that the Bible's teachings on creation care are being co-opted by a more radical, ecocentric ideology. The media's emphasis on the importance of individual action and collective responsibility may be seen as a challenge to the traditional Christian notion of sin and redemption, where personal salvation is the primary focus. Furthermore, the language used by the media to describe climate change often has a distinctly apocalyptic tone, with phrases like tipping point, catastrophic consequences, and last chance becoming increasingly common. This rhetoric can be seen as a form of secular eschatology, where the impending doom of climate change replaces the traditional Christian narrative of Judgment Day. By framing climate change as an existential threat, the media may be inadvertently creating a rival narrative that competes with the Christian concept of salvation and the afterlife. In addition, the scientific consensus on climate change has become a battleground for ideological clashes between Christians and secularists. Some argue that the media's uncritical acceptance of climate science is a form of intellectual bullying, where dissenting voices are silenced and marginalized. This perceived intolerance has led some Christians to view the climate change debate as a war on their freedom of thought and expression. The media's tendency to conflate climate skepticism with anti-science or anti-intellectualism has further exacerbated this perception, creating a sense of siege mentality among some Christian communities. However, it's essential to note that not all Christians view the climate change debate as a war on their faith. Many Christian denominations and organizations have actively engaged with environmental issues, recognizing the importance of creation care and the need for sustainable practices. These efforts demonstrate that Christianity and environmentalism are not mutually exclusive, and that the two can be reconciled through a nuanced understanding of biblical teachings and scientific research. In conclusion, the idea that global warming is a war by the mainstream media against Christianity is a complex and contested concept. While it's true that the media's emphasis on environmentalism may challenge traditional Christian values, it's also important to recognize that many Christians are actively engaged in the climate change debate and are working to promote a more sustainable future. Ultimately, the relationship between Christianity and environmentalism is multifaceted and open to multiple interpretations, reflecting the diversity and richness of human experience. By engaging in respectful dialogue and acknowledging the validity of different perspectives, we can work towards a more inclusive and compassionate understanding of the world and our place within it.